My recent contacts with the healthcare system, thinking that my cancer was all in the rearview mirror, and turned out it wasn't. But in all of my recent contacts with that system, I can truthfully say they have been, for the most part, quite positive. You know, it's true that people are really pretty nice. The kindness, the support, the empathy that I have experienced has been quite touching. Both of my doctors, both locally and in Pittsburgh, Dr. Loeb and Dr. Farah, the wonderful gentlemen, I've appreciated them very much. Dr. Farah, as I mentioned, was Dr. Bailey's physician, and he mentioned to me in our first conversation that he had never met anyone like Dr. Bailey when it comes to speaking Arabic. He said his Arabic was perfect. Dr. Farah is Lebanese. He said he could have easily passed for Lebanese. Shortly thereafter, I spoke to him in Arabic as well, to which he laughed. I'm not sure what I said. But the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare administrators, the technicians, everyone wonderful. And it's been such a helpful experience for that to be the case. Of course, I've also noticed that very shortly after entering any of the facilities, for any reason, it's never very long before some very kind and gracious person says, "May I see your insurance card, please?" And I get that. I'm fine with that. I understand that people have to be paid, that hospitals have enormous overhead. I can't even imagine what it must cost just in terms of the insurance, in terms of the equipment. It would choke a horse, I'm sure. So I'm perfectly willing and happy to pay my share of the cost. And not only is that necessary, it's also biblical. Jesus himself said in Matthew's gospel, "The laborer is worthy of his hire." And Paul, writing to the Romans, the 13th chapter, seems to be in full agreement. Pay to all, he said, what is due them. The laborer is worthy of his hire. Pay to all what is due them. I get that. What's a little more surprising, perhaps, is when we hear this same apostle at several different points in his letters make the comment very similar to that which Sarah read for us a moment ago, when Paul says to his churches, "It is not my intent to take your money. There is no charge, no fee for my services. I am entitled," he said in another location, "I'm entitled to do that. I have every right to be paid for that which I do, but I do not wish to be a burden to anyone. Therefore, no charge." No charge. It's an amazing and impressive statement. And the church has, I think, by and large, over the centuries, tried to keep with the spirit of all of that. With very few exceptions, such as, maybe renting out a kitchen for a wedding reception or a baby shower, with very few exceptions, here at Trinity, and I think most places, there is no charge. Now, maybe at this point, our good friend and financial director, Bill McKnight, is getting just a tad nervous. After kind of gearing you all up for the stewardship season ahead, here's Crooks, no charge. It's all free, no charge. I think I'm right, though. I think the spirit of the church is best maintained when we understand how free it is. Now, we do have a pledge system, of course, to which Bill alluded. That's to help our session get some handle on income and outgo as we prepare for the coming year. But it's all an honor-based system, as it even says on your pledge card when you receive it. If your circumstances change and you need to change your pledge, you're free to do so. Or even you just want to, for any reason at all. It is an honor-based system. You need answer to no one. We hope that you'll follow through. We do have some rather significant bills that are going to need paid. Some people remark about how nice it is to have an elevator now in the church. Let me assure you, it's not free. We pay out over $1,000 a quarter just to maintain the right for the elevator company to come and repair it if it should break. That's over and above. We'd still have to pay them for the work they do when they fix it. The $1,000 and more per quarter is just so they'll answer the phone if we call. We do have some substantial bills that need paid. So we hope that you'll follow through. We hope that you'll help us pay the bills. But even if you don't, no one's going to come and knock on your door. You will not receive a bill from Central Accounting. It's entirely up to you. And for the most part, I like it that way. I do. That's not to say there aren't moments. There aren't moments when the weakness within me finds myself envious of businesses and industries that can maintain by force, if you will, by coercion, a steady income flow. I have moments of envy when, like country clubs that decide to undertake a major capital campaign, they can simply divide up the cost of that amongst the members and send it out and say, this is what you owe, and you've got 30 days to make the payment. There's a part of me. That'd be nice sometimes. As when at perhaps a wedding, this doesn't happen very often, certainly to me, but I've heard colleagues talk about being at weddings where it's obvious every luxury known to man has been engaged in. The money flows like the wine. Everything present from ice sculptures to dancing gorillas. And then at the end of it, the father of the bride, pleased as punch, grinning ear for ear, comes up to the pastor, presses a $10 bill into your hand and says, go get something nice for your wife. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. And those are the occasions when maybe I find myself a little bit envious of the hospital official who says, may I see your insurance card, please? But on the whole, I am happy to say no charge. Not because what we do isn't important, and that's always the risk of saying no charge, isn't it? When something's free, it's easy to attribute to it something of little value. If you go in Walmart and there's a big cardboard bin that says, free, help yourself, I'm not even looking in that thing. It's like the sign along the road, free kittens, help yourself. Yeah, I'll take 2. Free often means worthless. But that's not what we seek to imply. Rather, it is an attempt to say something about what it means to live and to walk by faith. You know, it's easy to talk that talk. It's easy to say, oh, we live by faith. It's harder to walk the walk. That's what we're trying to do as a church, I think, to live that out. You can give or not give. And I think you'll discover, I hope you'll discover, if you don't discover it, you come and see me. We want to set that right. But no matter what you do, we hope you're treated the same. We don't have a banquet in the fall that's just for the tithers. We're not going to give you a little sticker that you can put on your blouse or your dress or your suit coat that says, I'm one of the top 10 givers. We don't do that. Whether you give a lot or whether you choose to give very little or even nothing at all, you will, I hope, notice no distinction. And it strikes me that that's important, that it's kind of nice once in a while in this world of ours to be a part of one of the ever-declining places where distinctions are minimalized. No one comes into this building through a door that says first class only. And no one departs through a gate that says poor exit only. To all who come and all depart, it's free. And I like that. I like that. While being eternally grateful for those who enable us to pay the bills, and how grateful we have been here at Trinity to be able to pay the bills and even a little left over. Thank you very much. I'm glad, nonetheless, that we don't have a billing department. I'm glad that here at least is one place where there truly is no charge. For it reminds us all of what it means to live by faith and trust. And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of what it might mean to give and to receive that special something we call grace. Let's pray. Grace upon grace, all free, all ours. For surely the sun does shine upon the just and the unjust, and the rain fall upon the righteous and the unrighteous. So may it be here.